All right, so to repeat, sorry, this is for video purposes only. To repeat, one, we have 8r cubed minus 64r squared, blah, 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 blah. Step one, find two groups. We grouped them. You almost always group them exactly the way that you see them. Then you factor out common factors with your eye towards the constant binomial factor. And if you can find that common binomial factor, not constant, common, we got r minus 8 here, r minus 8 by factoring out the 8r squared. At this step, we say, all right, I'm going to factor out the r minus 8. The constant binomial factor gets factored out. So I keep on saying constant, I mean common. So I'll just keep writing it. Common binomial factor. And that's your job, is to find that guy. Now, so I got that guy out. And then this is just the rest of the factors. The factors. We are not in ancient England. Although yesterday in England, good things happened. So, if I take out the factor r minus 8, which that's one big number by itself, one big item, one big term by itself, take that out, what's left over? 8r squared. This is what's left over, the common factor that we divided out. Now, I put plus 1 here. Yes, sir. Not a problem. I put a 1 times r minus 8 here, so we can kind of see that we're going to factor out the plus 1. Because when it's just r minus 8, we still need something to factor out of there, and it's always going to be the 1. So if r minus 8 is the only thing you need to factor out of there, it's 1 times r minus 8, so we'll be left with this. So the answer is r minus 8 times 8r squared plus 1. That's your answer. So your whole job is to find that constant binomial factor. Now I want to do another one. And this is going to be on the video, because this video is only 2 minutes long so far, that kind of goes through the steps one more time. So this is actually number 2 on your worksheet. So this was number 1 on the worksheet. This is number 2 on the worksheet, which is 12p cubed minus 21p squared plus 28p minus 49. Now, when you have 4, and most often whenever I test and assess on this, I usually say factor by grouping, so it leads you into that direction. I'm going to make 2 groups. That group plus the second group. So what do you think is going to go in the first 2 group, or in the first group? Yeah, the 12p cubed minus 21p squared. And what's ever left is going in the second group, 28p minus 49. Now, factor out common factors. With an eye towards, I need to get that common binomial factor. I have a 4 and a 21. What's the only number I can divide into 4 and 21? Or, excuse me, 12 and 21? 3. So I'm going to take out a 3. Now I have p cubed and p squared. Which one do I take out? P squared. And, alright, so 3 times what gets me to 12? 4. That's what I was thinking, actually. And I have p squared. I need p cubed, so I need a p. And then 3 times what gets me to 21? 7. So I say minus 7 because there's a negative sign there. And p squared, I'm good to go. So now, if factoring by grouping is going to work, I should end up with that binomial over here. So let's see what we get. I have a 28 and a 49. If you think in terms of football and thinks in terms of touchdowns, how many touchdowns is 28? 4 touchdowns. And 49 is 7 touchdowns. So the number that divides into both of these are going to be 7. So 7 times what gets me to 28? 4. So that's a 4p. That works because that's what I got right here, what I wanted to get. And then minus 49, I need, 7 times what gets me to 49? 7. Is that the common binomial? It sure is. So I take out the 4p minus 7, and then I put in what's left. From the first term, I have a 3p squared plus a 7. And then you're not done. Because then usually you got to look at this and see if you have maybe like a squared minus b squared. Because sometimes you'll get a squared minus b squared, which is equal to a minus b times a plus b. So you just take a look and see if there's anything, if you can factor that just a little bit more. If you can factor that one just a little bit more. But usually you end up with 2 terms here. You might end up with the common, because here's your common binomial factor, and this is the leftovers. Hold on one second. Those are your leftovers, but sometimes you can factor the leftovers. And the only way you usually end up doing it is a squared minus b squared. Yes? I take the leftover from here, the 3p squared, and that becomes the first term in the second binomial, because I factored this guy out. Now the plus 7 comes from right here. So since it's the leftovers, I took this guy and put it here, and I took that guy and put it here. That's the common binomial factor. I factored out 4p minus 7. What's left over is 3p squared. There he is. Plus 7, there it is. Because, remember what we're doing, we're factoring. Factoring always results in a multiplication problem. Capiche?